So anyways, Death Stranding 2 is a game that I would 100,000% recommend to anybody.
Let's not. This, again, the shilling shit. The shit where it's like, this sounds like shilling to me.
It's actually one of the best games that I've actually played this year. In fact, it might be one of the best games I've played this generation of gaming.
2 seconds later.
And I don't say that lightly. I've actually got several hours under my belt for the game already.
So I can't help that you're stupid and you don't understand intelligent, like, conversation and intelligent commentary on something and criticism. So sorry that you're stupid.
Yeah, you heard that right. Death Walking 2 is the greatest game of this generation, dude. Despite the fact that he hasn't even beaten the game yet and is only a few hours into the game.
Several hours under my belt for the game already.
If we're going to be honest here though, is it really that surprising? I mean, like, MutaSaar is a huge Kojima cocksucker after all. And obviously anything that Kojima touches just turns to gold, obviously. But in all seriousness, the amount of shilling this street shitter does in this video is quite astronomical, if we're gonna be honest.
Real talk. Real talk.
So I figured I'd show everybody just how big of a clown MutaSaar is. But let's be real, okay? Let's be real. I think we all already knew that. Remember, this is the guy, after all, who deleted his Twitter because too many people made Indian jokes, and that really got up in his feels, you know?
Can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
And this is also the guy who told people to vote with their wallets.
And if you're not willing to vote with your wallet now...
Several months later.
I am not buying that Switch 2 right now, said the Indian guy. The Switch 2's sitting on his desk.
But wait, there's more.
Now let me explain, okay? Let me explain myself real quick. I actually had no intentions of picking this device up.
Wrong, moron! Absolutely wrong. You're a fucking idiot. You're a complete and utter fucking idiot.
I had no intentions on picking this up.
I actually had no intentions of picking this device up. Nintendo has done a pretty good job. Was that a voice crack? God damn, am I slipping through people? Jesus.
You ain't funny.
Oh, bro, dude, what was that? Voice cracked. Oh my god, what was that? My voice just cracked? What was that, dude? Like, even this dumb, slimy motherfucker couldn't hold in his laughs. Like, even he knew he just scammed all of your asses with his previous video telling you not to buy that shit, milking views off of you just to then buy it day one, then make a video on it just to milk the Switch 2 for even more views. And that he wasn't going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2. But then day one, literally minute 1 to be more precise, of the Nintendo Switch 2 being released, he was there at midnight to pick up a Nintendo Switch 2, since obviously he just couldn't help himself, you know? And MutaSaar, much like many other retards, Tanga did the exact same shit. You know, Nintendo Switch 2 is bad, dude, then proceeds to buy it day one. These people are all hypocrites and have zero standards, zero morals, and most likely zero soul. They are soulless husks of people, okay? Let's be honest.
You know, everything Latina Parfait he says is based and correct.
But yeah, MutaSaar loves to appeal to his Reddit audience because he's basically just Reddit incarnate. I also figured I'd make this video since I've had quite a few people ask me if I was going to play Death Walking 2, so since I don't have a PlayStation 5 and don't ever plan to get one, nor do I ever plan on playing this absolute haram pig slop of a game, I'll just make a video on everybody's favorite Indian, MutaSaar, instead, okay?
For every live service slop like Concord that comes out and dies faster than a life cycle of a fruit fly, ladies and gentlemen, today is a grim reminder why single-player games are just so important.
I really hate this stupid face he's doing right here. Like, imagine trusting whatever comes out of this guy's mouth. Like just imagine that, okay? But anyways, I'm not here to shit on his looks too much, no pun intended, okay? But I love how he brings up Concord and then is like, this game right here is a grim reminder of why single-player games are so important. Like, no, motherfucker, this is a grim reminder of what gaming has come to. This is a grim reminder that millions of people want to play a game where you literally just hold up on the control stick being an Amazon delivery man. These are the types of games that should be tossed into the fucking trash bin right next to Concord. Also, you gotta really love how he brings up Concord because obviously that's a really easy game to shit on. I know it's bad, you know it's bad, yet you'll notice people like MutaSaar will never actually address the elephant in the room with games like Concord. They'll say and admit that it's a bad game since, you know, that's the popular opinion, and that's essentially what these grifting fucking retards do. They just look on Reddit for whatever the popular opinion is, but they'll never actually go into why that is. And they'll, like I said, avoid the elephant in the room, which is the woke bullshit in the game. And if you're wondering to yourself or thinking to yourself, is Death Walking 2 woke? Yeah, no shit. This is a Kojima game after all. This game literally has Deborah Bug-Eyed Wilson in it. I mean, just look at how ugly she looks, for example. Look at that disgusting, putrid, vile, unholy abomination of a character model. And then she has like fucking tattoos on her head. Like, Jesus, like, oh my god, bro. Like, I like legitimately want to puke.
May I, Sam?
Look, dude, how quirky. She has 2 right hands also. Oh my god, best game ever made. Oh my god, insert soy face, dude. It's a masterpiece. Make sure to buy 20 copies right now to support Kojima. I also watched the cutscene with Deborah Wilson, by the way, and I don't know if these women or these body type 2s are just cancer patients or if they just are bald fucks. I don't know. But look at how cringe this is. Pregnant, bald, body type 2s holding guns.
And nothing more. Luckily, I had strong women around me. Mothers who were willing to stand up and fight for the sake of us all.
But as soon as we decided to take up arms, our man friends only got bolder.
What were they thinking with this shitload of fuck?
Like, what's this new trend going on with pregnant body type 2s holding guns or being in the front lines? Like, it's so fucking gay, man. It's so fucking cringe.
You know, everything Latina Parfait he says is based and correct.
But remember, Kojima can do no wrong, and the game obviously isn't woke. Get on your knees right now and open up.
Placed him in the pod. And a moment later, his heart started beating. And then, after 3 minutes, it stopped. I tried as quickly as I could to get him back in the womb, but it was too late. The still baby was no longer viable. I'm sorry, Caesar.
That's what you get. That's what you fucking get, bitch.
I don't know what she's crying about. It's just a clump of cells after all, right? Like it's just a clump of cells. Get over it, man.
Real talk.
I was also planning on watching the shitty cinematics or cutscenes for Death Stranding 2, like all of them, so I could make a review based off of that, but when I typed in Death Stranding 2 cutscenes, the first video that pulls up is a video that's 12 fucking hours long. Yeah, you can miss me with that bullshit. If you really think I'm going to sit there for 12 hours watching, you know, shitty Kojima cutscenes. I don't know everything woke in this piece of shit game, but I know the first game had woke shit in it, like a female president, which is obviously very, 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 very cringe. Cause let's just be honest, okay? Let's keep it a $1.33, a buck death walking. That would never actually happen. Although maybe it will when we got necromancers like Joe Biden who can use his powers to revive the dead. Maybe we too will get a necromancer female one day as like the president of the United States of America. Who the fuck knows? But you know, I just love games with like over 12 hours of cutscenes where all I'm doing is just holding up on the analog stick, and in between that, at the end of like point A to point B, I get to watch like a 2-hour fucking cutscene. How fun, how engaging, dude. Like, whatever happened to actual good games, innovative games, fun games? Now it's, oh, deliver the fucking Amazon packages, dude. Now it's, sit back and watch a 5-hour fucking cutscene, dude. Isn't that engaging? Isn't that fun? Isn't that what everybody wants to do when they're playing a video game? Watch fucking cutscenes all day long? No, I want to play the video game, motherfucker. Hence the name video game, not video fucking movie. So MutaSaar basically talks about it having a 90 on Metacritic, which shouldn't really be surprising, as one, it's a Kojima game, and two, it's a Sony exclusive, and as long as your game isn't complete dog shit like Concord, it's going to score relatively high by the low standards Sony fanboys and journalists.
The concept of the gameplay being delivering packages from point A to point B with some sci-fi horror and like, you know, combat maybe intermixed between, it's such a weird thing, right? Like a lot of games play it super safe. You know, you got your shooter game, you got your action adventure game, you've got your racing games, you got like defined genres, right? And really it feels like games don't really take the next step and like innovate from where they're at.
Is this dumb motherfucker really trying to say that a walking/movie simulator is is innovative. Like, does MutaSaar not realize that walking simulators have existed before Death Stranding 1? Like, for crying out loud, that's what the PlayStation 4 was known for. It's shitty movie walking simulators. How is Death Stranding 1 or 2 any fucking different? Why? Because they added delivering packages into the mix? So since they added, you know, package delivery into the mix, now that's innovative, dude? Or is it more so people are just Kojima cocksuckers and they will literally say anything Kojima touches or produces is amazing despite how shit it really is? People like MutaSaar and Sony fanboys would literally say if Kojima took a shit right fucking now and put it and placed it right into the palms of their hands, they would be like, wow bro, this shit is a 10 out of 10 if it was like handed to them, you know? Like, there is literally nothing, not a thing that's innovative about Death Stranding. How is walking from point A to point B, delivering packages, any different from any other Sony slop game such as Horizon Forgotten West, Daddy of War, or The Last of Trash? Oh yeah, that's right, there isn't anything different from them, other than maybe you could say Death Stranding is worse than those games, which it probably is if we're gonna be honest, which is kind of surprising since the bar is already so fucking low with modern Sony games. He then goes on to say that this is the greatest game of the generation, because of course it is, because it's made by Kojima after all, and if this dog shit was made by literally any other company or person, nobody would care or give a shit about it.
Very based. Extremely based, I'd say.
So I want to first talk about, like, obviously the thing that I think has really grabbed some people's attention, the graphics. You know, I'm not somebody that is like the biggest graphics hoe imaginable, to actual gameplay. And you start on top of this like mountain, and you can see from like the top of the mountain to like the very, very edges of the map. The draw distance is insane. The level of quality around you is actually so insane that I really felt like I was looking at one of those Unreal Engine tech demos.
So now he's trying to show the graphics of this game, which look about the same as literally any other AAA game. As a matter of fact, I'd honestly say it looks worse than other AAA games, just because there's literally nothing on the fucking map. There's nothing on the screen. Like, imagine glazing this trash when it's literally all just copy and paste mountains and rocks or snow or sand or whatever it may be. Yeah, it better look good since there's literally nothing else to fucking look at. Like, it just looks so dull and boring. Where are there cool and interesting landmarks? Where is literally anything? Where's the fucking color? There's nothing here. It's just an open barren wasteland with nothing in it. Not to mention, okay, not to fucking mention, this game is on the Decima engine, which is Guerrilla Games and Sony's engine, by the way, if you didn't know. Its primary use is to generate landmass. It's also specifically optimized for performance. If you've ever used the Unreal Engine, for example, it's kind of like that. You basically have like a brush tool or canvas tool, which allows you to generate land and mold it or shape it into however or whatever you want. It's nothing new, it's nothing special, it's quite basic and quite standard with open world slop games, especially slop open world games like this with literally nothing in them. Like, I just don't get how anybody can look over this gameplay or just mountains and be like, yeah dude, this looks so fucking good, dude, oh my god bro, I'm like fucking drooling over this shit. Like, you have to be lying to yourself, or you have to be delusional, or maybe just retarded. Probably one of them, maybe all of them, I don't know. Honestly, if we're going to be honest, this shit looks like Starfield. Like does this shit not remind you of Starfield? Like, when I first saw this, my immediate thought was fucking Starfield. Open wasteland with nothing in it. This is why art style will always be superior and trump graphical fidelity. You look at a game like Devil May Cry 1 and it still holds up to this day 20 years later because of its art style, or a game like Wind Waker or Jet Set Radio, or really any Sega or Nintendo game from back in the day.
You know, where they showcase things like Nanite, where like the rocks, like they have like a million like pebbles rendered on the ground.
Wow dude, oh my god bro, they have so many fucking pebbles on the ground. Oh my god, holy shit dude. It's not like they can't just copy and paste that shit over and over and just generate thousands of pebbles everywhere. Wow, this game is truly taking the next step. It truly is being innovative. Other games can only generate 1,000 pebbles, but not this game. Not Death Stranding 2. This game right here, this game that you're looking at, Death Walking 2, generates 1,001 pebbles. Oh my god, truly peak innovation.
Really, it feels like games don't really take the next step and like innovate from where they're at.
Like, is this really where we've come to as gamers? We are now getting our panties wet for fucking pebbles on the fucking ground that most of us aren't even gonna look at ever, unless you intentionally just look at the floor, which why the fuck are you even looking downwards at that point? Like, it's truly over for us gamers.
But it's running it at like 60 frames per second.
I would hope so. It's 2025. The fact that most games still can't reach 60 FPS on consoles is kind of fucking pathetic.
Real life as you can get. Like the wrinkles, the hair, every single thing imaginable. I think the thing that gets me the most is probably the eyes. The eye rendering is insane for this game.
So he basically continues to soy out for the pebbles and rocks till eventually he starts soying out for, get this, the eyes of the characters. Like, I would hope that the eyes and character models look good, since none of that game development went into filling this open fucking desolate open world over here, okay? With literally nothing in it. Like, seriously though, how is this shit any different from a Ubisoft game? Again, it just goes to show the double standards of these retarded normies.
Real talk.
Like, it's fine when Sony or my boyfriend Kojima does it, but when Ubisoft does it, oh no, bro, it's bad. It's a no-no. But yeah, I would hope the character models and eyes look good, as that's what I'm basically going to be doing for the next 12 hours and staring at, since I'm going to be watching this dog shit more than actually playing the game, which maybe is more of a blessing in disguise. I don't know. Since the less I gotta play this dog shit, the better. So we obviously aren't going to watch this whole video, as it's extremely boring, and I don't get how anybody can sit through a single MutaSaar video, yet alone multiple, or watch him daily without falling asleep, okay?
There are good-looking UE5 games like Silent Hill 2 Remake, which I think look exceptional, but this is a great example of, having your visuals, good enough. And of course,
there's no way he's trying to say that the Silent Hill 2 remake looks good or great with its store-used fucking assets. Just when you thought MutaSaar couldn't get any stupider, he does in fact get stupider. Like, I don't think I need to go in detail on why or how the Silent Hill 2 remake is dog shit and how it completely removes the feel, atmosphere, and tone of the original. Again, as I already have a 2-hour-long video breaking down pretty much everything, the entirety of the game. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. But yeah, the Silent Hill 2 remake just looks like ass. Everything from how shit James's, jacket looks right here, to his face, and literally everything in the game. Not to mention all the downgrades and uglification of characters like Maria. Like, the game does not look good, and it's just a poor man's Resident Evil remake. It's literally a downgrade in almost every fucking aspect and quality.
And when it finally hits you, like, you can feel with the game's vibrations, you can feel with, like, just your character moving around, fighting the strong winds. Like, this is gameplay, like, changing, right? Like, it's gonna make your experience even harder when you play through.
Oh great, dude, now instead of running at normal pace, I now get to slow down and basically take twice as long to get to my packaged destination. Now I gotta walk instead of run because of an annoyance. Because let's just be honest, okay? Let's keep it $1.33, because that's what this is. It's an annoyance. Maybe it looks or seems cool the first time or the second time you get to it, but do you really think in your Baljeet mind, okay, that after that you're still going to be like, wow, this is so cool, dude? Or are you going to be like, I don't know, maybe are you going to be like, great, another sandstorm that I'm going to have to walk through? Who am I kidding though? We both know the answer to that one, so you don't even have to answer it, okay? Next, he's going to try to explain to us the exciting and riveting gameplay.
You pretty much are given guns, you're given like combat options, you're given choices. Like, you can either evade these people or like engage them with stealth, or you can engage them full combat. It's really up to you. Like, the game gives you like so many different options and choices right from the game.
I love how he's like, bro, the game gives you so many choices and options. It's like totally up to you, dude. And prior to that, he says you can either engage with combat, or avoid them, or engage in stealth. Wow, how innovative, dude. I can't believe there hasn't been any other games to feature this. Oh, wait a minute. Every fucking Ubi shit game has combat, stealth, and you can avoid combat. Hell, you can avoid combat in most games just by walking around the fucking encounters. Like, this fucking retard really thinks that this is something revolutionary or innovative. Like, this game, by including basic mechanics that have been in every game for the past 20 years, is really taking the next step in innovation.
And like, innovate from where they're at.
Remember, those were MutaSaar's words, not mine. He's the one who was saying this shit is innovative. The shit that's literally in every fucking game known to mankind, okay?
Now, of course, the question is, Muta, is it still a package delivery simulator? And absolutely it is, okay? It's Deathstranding 2 for a reason, bucko. But its gameplay has evolved so much.
Wrong, moron! Absolutely wrong. You're a fucking idiot. You're a complete and utter fucking idiot.
That playing this for, the hours that I have, it makes the first game, which I completely platinumed, I put in hundreds of hours into the original game, it makes that game look like a beta mode, a proof of concept.
It's literally just the exact same game repackaged to you as a new experience. Literally nothing is different other than you get to do combat encounters earlier and more often. But yeah, it's still an Amazon delivery package game at the end of the day. And if you buy this slop, you're what's wrong with gaming and you're the reason it's dying. I really hope this shit flops, but considering again it's a Kojima game and Sony game, that unfortunately most likely it won't happen, and Kojima will continue to stay in Hollywood where he can pretend to be a movie director, you know, using video games as his movies. He can vicariously live through the video game industry as a movie director, because that's essentially what he fucking is, which is a big problem with the gaming industry. It's the sheer amount of companies trying to make games more like movies. It's also the only reason Kojima started his studio in California, despite him not even be able to fucking speak English. But yeah, much like in other games which feature face scanning or actual people and inserting them into games instead of creating unique character models, we get actors in video games. It's the same case with Death Walking 2. It's full of actors like Deborah Bug-Eyed Wilson, who is face scanned into every fucking modern game for the last 10 years at this point, and film directors like George Miller, which is an Australian filmmaker, S.S. Rajamouli, which is an Indian filmmaker, Norman Reedus, the main character of Death Walking 2 and is literally just him, Ellie Fanning, etc, etc. He loves putting these Hollywood people into his video games because Kojima so desperately wants to create movies, but much like the angry video game nerd, he's stuck making AVGN episodes, or in Kojima's case, stuck making video games. So he tries to make video games as much like movies as possible. I really am getting sick of seeing real people in video games though and just being face scanned into everything. Can we please go back to creating actual unique and cool characters and not self-inserts of fucking Hollywood actors? Or is that too difficult for these modern day hack-ass developers? I don't know. Can we please stop scanning people's faces into video games? And if we are going to scan people's faces into video games such as women, can we please not uglify them into fucking oblivion to appeal to woke dipshits on Twitter? I don't know. I'm just tired of this shit. Also, there's another game Kojima's working on. I don't know if it's been halted or canceled, but it's called OD, and it was extremely gay, cringe, and used actors, and Kojima the hack partnered with Jordan Peele, another fellow wokey Hollywood dipshit. But yeah, I'm getting tired of Kojima and these hacks inserting themselves into video games and trying to make them like movies or Hollywood. We don't need them, and we never fucking needed them.
You know, everything Latina Parfait he says is based and correct.
People do love to suck off Kojima though, and will act and pretend as if he's the sole reason Metal Gear was good, and poor little Kojima and bad Konami, you know, when in reality Kojima was a bitch to work with, so much so that he was sectioned off away from literally everybody else. Let's just be honest, okay? Kojima wasn't the only cook in the kitchen, and there were plenty of others who worked on all the games he worked on. He doesn't deserve anywhere near the amount of credit people try to give him. Then on top of all this, in Japanese culture, you're supposed to, you know, like give credit to your bosses or give all of the credit to them. Am I trying to say that Kojima had no credit for the success of the Metal Gear games? No, but what I am saying is he probably had far less than what you may think.
But it doesn't really give you a lot of combat, especially at the very beginning, right? Like if you play Deathstranding 1, a lot of it can be a boring slog, especially that first, like, I want to say third of the game, where you're literally just going from point to point. And even if there are enemies, you never really are given a lot of weapons or choices.
I love how even the biggest Kojima dick riders admit that Death Stranding is a boring game. Dude, it only takes a third through the game to become actually fun. Meanwhile, the game is like 100 hours. Yeah, it only takes 40 hours for the game to get good, dude. Just be miserable for 40 hours till you get to the good part, till the game actually starts getting fun. Fucking idiot.
Real talk, you're a fucking idiot.
If a game takes that long to become fun or to get good, then it's not a fucking good game, okay? It really isn't. As a matter of fact, it's a dog shit game. And that's what Death Stranding is. It's a dog shit game. I'm sure I'm pissing off lots of people, so if you like this video and appreciate me being based and honest and calling out this slop, hit that like button and also consider joining the Latina Kingdom by hitting that subscribe button, or don't and be a soy boy bitch like MutaSaar. It's really up to you. You know, I'm not forcing you to do shit, you know?
But I really do recommend that you put the challenge up, because it makes it so that, you know, your stamina is more of a hindrance. You know, you don't have like almost infinite stamina in comparison to the harder difficulty.
Why would anybody who is of sane mind want to put the challenge up in Death Walking? Isn't the entire game just cutscenes and holding up on the control stick? Like, why would anybody want to drag this game out for longer than it actually is? Like, why would I want to endure any more of this boring slop than I have to? Oh, dude, just turn up the difficulty difficulty so you don't have infinite stamina so the game will take twice as long to beat, dude. It'll be so much more fun. Trust me, bro. Trust me. You'll have so much more fun taking twice as long to beat the game. So much more fun, dude.
And, you know, anytime somebody tells you it's just a package delivery game, that's also bullshit.
C-A-P.
That is pure cope. That's literally what the game is.
I think what Hideo Kojima has done with Deathstranding 2, what Kojima Productions has done, is pretty staggeringly awesome. And
you really are stupid, ain't you?
You know, I never expected Deathstranding 1 to even get a sequel.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
I thought that Deathstranding 1 was too experimental of a game.
So I can't help that you're stupid and you don't understand intelligent, like, conversation and intelligent commentary on something and criticism. So sorry that you're stupid.
I thought that it probably didn't even sell that well as compared to all the other Sony stuff.
Well, Sony players love their goy slop, you know? What can you say?
Pick this game up physically because let me tell you right now, it is one of those games where I guarantee you it's going to age like fine wine.
Wrong, moron!
I doubt this shit is going to age like fine wine. People are slowly getting more and more tired of Sony slop, so it's definitely possible in the near future people look back on this game as being shit. Hopefully we do reach that point sometime in the near future though. Not only that, but hopefully we reach the point where people realize Kojima is a hack.
And down the road, you definitely want to have a copy of this in your like gaming catalog because, you know, it's one of those games where I beat it. You know, my brother's not a Deathstranding fan, but he saw a bit of this gameplay, and I guarantee you he's going to be yoinking my disc right after I finish it because he was, for the first time I even saw a guy, I saw him watch this game for an hour, and he used to say it was like a delivery simulator, like the first game.
Can MutaSaar really not just buy a second copy for his brother? What is this bullshit of, oh my dude, my brother has to wait until I finish the game before I can lend him the disc? Like I could see this if they were like, you know, broke or some shit, or didn't have much money, or if he wasn't a fucking channel with over 3 million subscribers. But you can't tell me this motherfucker doesn't have money to buy a second copy as a gift for his brother, okay?
And the second game was like, we know what the game is supposed to be, let's just actually make it the best delivery survival horror strand game that we ever can have.
So I can't help that you're stupid.
Has survival horror just lost all of its meaning at this point? In what fucking world is this game survival horror? When people think of that term, they think of, I don't know, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Clock Tower, Haunting Grounds, Dead Space, Fatal Frame, that type of shit. This is not a survival horror game, you fucking hack. Nobody thinks of Deathstranding when they think of survival horror, okay? Nobody thinks of delivering Amazon delivery packages as survival horror, okay? Just because the game may have horror elements in it, and you could be like, well, you're in the wilderness and you deliver packages, doesn't mean it's survival horror, okay? But yeah, what a terrible fucking video. I can't imagine still being subbed to this guy watching all of his videos, especially again after shit where he tells you not to buy the Nintendo Switch 2, then buys it minute fucking 1 of it releasing, or him deleting his Twitter because too many people made SAR and do not redeem jokes on Twitter. But yeah, I obviously won't be reviewing this game, and this will be the closest you'll get to me giving my thoughts and opinions on Kojima and Deathstranding. I really hope this game flops and doesn't do well.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. Real talk.